All right, next chapter, guided meditations. What's that all about?
Well, meditation can be used in a number of ways. One is just repeating a sound. And when you meditate, you can focus your awareness. And anytime, and mental energy is really no different than any kind of energy. Einstein showed that energy and matter were interconvertible. That's what E equals MC squared is all about. And so when you focus something, you gain more power. Just like a laser is focused light, you can burn through steel, or a magnifying glass, you can focus the sun's rays and burn a piece of paper. And so when you focus your awareness, your mind has a bigger impact on your body, for better and for worse. Oftentimes people are focused when they get angry. That's one of the reasons why anger is such a powerful risk factor for heart disease and so many other conditions. But if you can bring your mind to a more neutral or peaceful focus, which is what meditation can be, and there's certain sounds that people meditate on that have been found to be soothing. It's like if you hum to your kid, almost intuitively. They're like Om, or Amen, or Salam, or Amin, or Shalom, or whatever. These are words that are often translated literally to mean peace. And so when we teach people to meditate in a guided meditation, it's like, bring your awareness to a sound and repeat the sound. So it'd be like Om, or even the word one, one, if you want something more secular. Then when you run out of air, do it again. That's all meditation is. And when your mind wanders, as it always does, everyone's does, even the Dalai Lama's mind wanders, just not as much as mine does, just bring it back over and over again. And so when you do that, your mind begins to quiet down, and you begin to experience more of that inner sense of peace and joy and well-being, and to realize that's our natural state.
Yes.
And so, as we talked about earlier, it's not that you have to get it, it's you just have to stop disturbing it. And then to remind yourself that you've already got that. If you take it even further, it gives you that direct experience, as I mentioned earlier, of transcendence. But also something we didn't talk about, which is really important, is that we all have our own inner teacher, our inner wisdom, our inner guru, our inner whatever you want to call it. And it's that voice that speaks very softly and clearly, but it gets drowned out by the chatter of everyday life. It's the voice that wakes you up in the morning and says, "Hey, Dean, wake up, listen up, pay attention. You need to listen to this," and I go, okay. But I've learned that you can access that voice actually very directly and intentionally. So at the end of a meditation, for example, when you are feeling more peaceful, to ask that voice to identify itself to you, to listen to it. And what I always ask is, what am I not paying attention to that I need to? And just listen. And it's amazing what comes out of that.
Oh, wow.
And because it's coming from your own inner voice, you trust it. It's authentic. You don't have to well, maybe that's true, maybe it's not true. If you hear someone else giving you advice, it's coming from within. And I've learned to trust that. And when I do, almost invariably, it turns out to be, I'm glad that I did that.
How many minutes a day do you meditate?
It varies. Sometimes it's an hour. I'll get up at 5 and meditate, because from 5 to 6, no one's bothering me and I don't get an email, and at least I don't look at my email.
Yeah.
It's a very peaceful time of day. But sometimes I just get, overwhelmed with stuff. But I always meditate at least for a few minutes. Now, I have this old game I play with myself. It's like, okay, I don't have time to meditate for an hour. Do I have time to meditate for a minute? If I have to tell myself I don't have time to meditate for a minute, I have to admit to myself that my life is so out of balance that I'd rather just do the minute. And once you do a minute, chances are you're going to do more. It's just getting started that's often the issue. But even a minute has real power. It's like, have you ever found yourself listening to a song on the radio and then found yourself humming it later in the day?
Absolutely.
It's subconsciously, your mind is still listening and playing it. And so when you meditate in the morning, even if it's just for a minute or two, your mind is subconsciously repeating that, and it makes your fuse longer. It raises the threshold of things that bother you, so you can often do more without getting stressed, without getting sick in the process.
And there's actually a lot of science behind doing meditation first thing in the morning. In fact, in our health boot camps, we say don't even jump out of bed. Sort of hit play, because we send curated 3 to 5 minute meditations, and we're like, if you don't have 3 minutes in the morning, because we know you're going to jump on Facebook or your social feeds and spend 20 minutes. So you can take 3 minutes out of that time, or 4 minutes out of the time, press play. And there's actually science behind the fact that exactly what you're saying, where when you start your day that way, with introspection, with calm, you've retrained yourself to stay calm the entire day. You'll have, as you said earlier, more tolerance, more patience, less reaction. And all that stuff is fabulous to get your body into the heal zone.
That's right.